Hey guys, Andy Pickering here. On today's video, I'm going to be revisiting an old track and giving it a new lick of paint. I'm a session musician here in my studio, Andy Pickering Studios or AP Studios. I do mostly keyboards for people, piano. I'm sat at the piano so you can't actually see it. Or with this array of equipment here, I do analog mixing services as well. There's been multiple versions of this song. It started out very much in the way that I was recording tracks back then, which was 4-track, programmed drums, you know, some multi-tracking on the 4-track to get that analog sound and feel, transferring into the DAW and then finishing up like that. And I did a version of it that sounded like this.
Tell me when the summer's coming back. Tell me when the storm will pass.
I was pretty happy with that at the time, but it basically coincided with a recording session that I did at Toe Rag Studios in London. And that was obviously done all very authentically, very 60s, very doorless, and all with real instruments. And there was a particular track called What She Knows that we did where it was just percussion based and all being focused on the rhythm of the acoustic guitar and piano. So I decided to revisit the song, remix it and take out the programmed drums and put in all new elements of percussion, bongos, shakers, tambourines, maracas, glockenspiel, you name it, I threw it in the track and built up this wall of sound. And it was, you know, I was really happy with it. And a music video was actually done when the song was released.
Tell me when the summer's coming back. Tell me when the storm will pass. And I'll know it more than.
So that was the finished track, and since 2019 I put it out on an EP, and that's been that really. The track's been posted on my YouTube channel with the video for the same amount of time, and that was it. Until recently, I thought I really put an awful lot of time and effort into that track, particularly when I redid it with all the percussion and all the new arrangement. I really just thought it'd be great to get some real drums done. I'm working very closely with Joe Montague, who's a session drummer, and he can put some drums on it, and then I can get the bass redone, give it a more organic feel, mix to tape, and run all the multi-tracks through all my analog gear. And that is basically what I'm going to be showing you today. So just before we go back to the start and we go through the multiple incarnations of the track, I just want to talk a little bit about the song.
I thought I'd share with you the inspiration behind actually writing the song. So this part was basically after I'd watched the Love and Mercy film with Paul Dano playing Brian Wilson, where he played God Only Knows on the piano. So I rushed to sort of write something that's in that vein. And then around that time I was listening to the Turtles quite a lot, and I wanted a big chorus like Eleanor. And then I took the second half of the chorus as like a theme to play at the intro and the outro of the song.
I wanted to write a song that was reminiscent of that kind of West Coast late 60s sound, like sunshine, bubblegum pop kind of sound, obviously incorporating a lot of my own elements in there, but that was what the song was, and it was very much, you know, written in that vein. That's another reason why I sort of wanted to revisit this and get even closer to what that would be. So, you know, at the time, budgets, and that's why I did programmed drums and thought it was just going to be 4-track, and you know, it progressed, it evolved, it sat there for a while, and now time to do the song justice.
Just before we get into the production, I thought I'd mention something about the lyrics. So here is a first draft that I found, which most of the words in this are not used in the song, but it was a starting off point. and you get many rewrites before you end up chiseling out the sculpture is what becomes the finished thing. So as mentioned, the influences are love songs, so I thought I would have a go at writing a love song. The verses being a declaration of your admiration for someone, and then the choruses: tell me when the summer's coming back, tell me when the storm will pass, and I'll know it more than ever. It's a metaphor for someone telling you everything's going to be okay, and that if you find that someone, you will love them more than ever. And it's as simple as that.
Okay, so here is where it all started, on cassette. Some piano and some percussions. And drums, and that's it. Okay, so here is the session that I did around 6 years ago when I released the track originally, and I'd removed the drums, programmed drums, and reworked it all, did all the lead stuff. So all this arrangement here is basically the main change from the original thing, minus the programmed drums going. Okay, so we've got all the multi-tracks ready to be sent through all the analog gear, but I just wanted to quickly explain what I'm going to be doing. There's going to be a few individual things, like the new drum track that has been done, and vocals. All the instrumental things are all bussed together in a stereo bus, or like a sub mix. They're all going to be sent through this, which is a 1950s tube amplifier, and everything's going to be compressed, so everything's going to have the finished sound on it. And then once I have everything re-recorded onto the DAW, that's when I'm going to be going doorless and getting everything transferred onto this Oasis, which will have a maximum of 8 tracks because my mixer is only 8 channels. Basically, it's going to be down to 5 tracks on this because I need to leave 3 tracks empty. Okay, here we go then. The stems are being run through the Presto 1950s amplifier, and that's being sent into my compressor down here, which is got tubes in it as well. So what I'm hoping for is just a gritty, overdriven drum sound with the vocals.
Tell me when the summer's coming back.
Adding grit
Tell me when the
and adding some heavy compression.
and I'll know it.
The vocal effect was ran through the reel-to-reel, the EQ at the top of the rack there, through the reverb, and then to the compressor with a really heavy compression with a long release.
Coming back. Tell me when the storm will pass, and I'll know it more than ever.
I'm just doing the guitar now, running that really hot through here. So this guitar part was a well thought out guitar part in the original version, and I ended up cutting it out of my remix of it because I came up with a new kind of idea and arrangement and everything for all the lead stuff, and I couldn't find any room for it. But upon revisiting it, a lot of this part works really well with the pre-existing arrangement that I did. So hopefully I'm going to squeeze this in where it sounds really nice, adding another layer to the track. Okay, so as you've just seen me recording all the bits from that original DAW with all the tracks, and I've whittled it down to 12 tracks now. Okay, so here comes the only compromise of having the limited tracks and having to get everything down. And the acoustic, the electric, all the lead bits, and all the percussion and the backing vocals are all going to be recorded together on their own stereo bus. So they're going to be 2 tracks basically. And here we are, we're down on the Oasis. There we go. All that arrangement is on these 2 stereo tracks. Drums, piano, and vocals. So let's get some reverbs done. Then I'll invite my friend Will Harrison in to do some bass, and then we're going to be ready to mix. This is where I want it to be now, with everything on the desk to do the reverbs. So on tracks 7 and 8 are going to be the master reverbs, and how I'm achieving that is I'm going to be doing 7 is all the information on the left, the reverb, and 8 is going to be all the information on the right.
When I look into your eyes and reach out for your hand, it captures me, and I prefer to stay here. I hope tell me when the storm will pass, and I'll know it more than ever.
Okay, so the track is now mixed down onto 2-track reel-to-reel on my Tascam 32 at 15 inches a second, if you care to know that much information. I'm going to hit play on the tape and you're going to hear the new version of The Summer's Coming Back, but I'm going to do something a little bit different, and I am going to screen the music video that I did back in 2019, directed by Max Voice. It was filmed by Safa Ibrahim and it was edited by Rebecca Wood. And you get to see me wandering around the Peak District in Derbyshire, and it was a beautifully shot and directed video, and it seems a shame to come all this way and not put the new audio to the video and put it here. So enjoy. The summer's coming back and this new version will be part of my next EP. Cheers.
When I look into your eyes and reach out for your hand, it captures me, and I prefer your eyes and reach out for your hand. I can't believe, and I say it over, how we can pretend. Do you see the light that's shining on another brand new day? So take this moment to sign of lasting, something you can't replace. Tell me when the summer's coming back. Tell me when the storm will pass, and I'll know it more than ever. I know our way is unsurpassed. I'll stay here till breathe one's last, and I'll know it more than ever. If we believe in love invade, time after time we'll see our place. Tell me when the summer's coming back. Tell me when the storm will pass, and I'll know it more than ever. I know our way is unsurpassed. I'll stay here till breathe one's last, and I love you more than ever.
Okay, so there we go. It's been an amazing journey, of course, to revisit a song and do it justice, just like I, couldn't have dreamed of back when I wrote the song, and be able to use fantastic musicians and use the elements that I'd done when I worked really hard on getting all that percussion and wall of sound kind of stuff, all that bright, nice, jangly kind of sound, being able to run that through the gear, the tube gear, and add obviously the spring reverb, mix it all analog, get it on the tape, and then put it to the video that was done and have that new, fresh version that's going to be released on my next EP. If you want to work with me, please get in touch. I'm here in the studio, session keys, mixing, all that kind of stuff. And that's it for today. The summer's coming back, hopefully next year. All right, cheers everyone.